group share with me. If I say it's made in Japan, what's your thinking? Yeah.
It's less expensive and there will quality. I have good quality in reasonable price.
Alright, good quality for a reasonable price. Alright, what else? What else do we think about made in Japan? Toyota. Alright, so we got a major car company, made in Japan. I laughed because when I first came to Taiwan, all I saw was Toyotas. And my friends in Taiwan, I would laugh and be like, ha ha, everyone drives a Toyota. And then after I got married, the first thing I have, Toyota. Like, ah, truly Taiwanese. So sad. Alright, so Toyota, made in Japan. Good. What else? Made in Japan. How do we feel? What do we think? What else? No other feelings? Alright, let's get around a bit. Made in Korea. What do people think when I say made in Korea? No one here has bought anything made in Korea. Don't believe it. Samsung. Alright, so huge electronics company. Samsung. What else? What other things come from Korea? Dramas. Alright. Lots and lots of Korean dramas, TV shows, soap operas. What else? Super idols. Alright, your musicians, your actors, all these come out of Korea. What else? Spicy food. Alright, you have kimchi. They tend to like a little bit spicy, sour style flavors. What else? Plastic surgery. Alright, cosmetic surgery. Not just plastic surgery, but a lot of beauty and fashion trends, especially for maybe your generation, tends to come from Korea. Clothing, makeup, a lot of these are Korean. Probably previously, more like my wife's generation or older, this is a lot of Japan. But recently, Korean beauty products become very popular. If I ask your grandparents to buy something from Korea, what will they say? Never. The Koreans are lying and cheating and make crap products. Okay? There's a big generational thing here. Again, we talked about perception. Your grandparents, maybe your parents, thinking about made in Korea, this is very low quality. And it's not a good feeling. Korea has tried really, really hard and spent a lot of money to start changing. So again, now, between like K-pop idols, all your singers, TV shows, Korea is not doing this by accident. The government is throwing money at the music and TV industry to change people's thinking about Korea. But, let's take a quick example. We said Samsung. Korea's biggest electronics company is Samsung. What is Japan's biggest electronics company? Sony. So, if I ask you, which is better, a Sony phone or a Samsung phone? What do you think? This is a little of a trick question. I see people hesitating. Like, tell it. Right. In general, most people will say a Sony quality product is better than a Samsung. Now, here's the trick side of it. Who makes Sony's products?
China.
Kind of. Samsung. Most of Sony's electronics are not made by Sony anymore. Samsung builds most of Sony's products. Now, caveat to that is that Japanese are much pickier about detail. They care about quality and detail a lot more. So their QA, their QC, their quality control is probably better. But in general, if you open up like a Samsung television and you look at all the inside parts, and you open up a Sony television, all the inside parts, exactly the same. Sony outsources most of its manufacturing to Samsung. Next, made in Italy. I say something is made in Italy. What do you think? Product. All right. Fashion. Especially very expensive fashion.
Luxury.
Luxury. All right. Italian thing, luxury. What else? Sports cars. All right. You have your Lamborghini, Ferrari, Maserati. Any really long car name, it's Italian. All right. So, what else? Pizza. All right. Food. So Italian food. My wife had to do business in Italy last week, and then when she came back, her first sentence was, "No more pizza, no more pasta." It's like, take me to Asian food. Are you okay? Alright, so food. What else is Italian? What material is Italy most famous for? We talked about luxury brands like bags, shoes. What material is Italy famous for?
Leather.
Leather. Florence is probably the largest leather exporter in the world. You can go to Florence and there are huge streets of all leather products. Bag, jacket, clothing, shoes, all made in Florence. So Italy has this idea of high-end quality, fashion. Milan is considered the fashion capital of the world. This is part of who they are. Let's jump somewhere else. What about Vietnam? Vietnam. What is made in Vietnam? Anyone have any idea?
Shoes.
Shoes. What kind of shoes, though? Yeah, sports shoes. Vietnam is very famous for sports shoes. Nike, Adidas, Puma, all manufacture shoes in Vietnam. What other food item is Vietnam famous for? Noodles, yeah, they have like a specific kind of noodle. What else? Something you drink. Coffee. I don't know how many of you drink coffee. Vietnamese coffee is considered very, very important in the world. So Vietnamese coffee, shoes. Alright, here's a fun question though. Vietnam is famous for making sports shoes. Nike, Adidas, Puma, etc. Who makes Nike's clothes? Taiwan. Most of Nike, Adidas, Puma's clothing, shirts, shorts, etc., are made in Taiwan. In fact, they're made very, very close to here. Xingyin, Liuying, both have huge clothing factories, and most of their orders come from Nike. So, what is a little bit unfortunate is, like for example, this gentleman's Nike hat. It was probably not cheap, but it was probably made here. And then it was sent somewhere else, and they put the Nike on and sent it back, and it's expensive. Nike is not cheap, but it's made here. Right? Patagonia is the same. Patagonia is a Japanese company that if you go to a Patagonia store, they're like jackets for hiking, going up, Yushan or some, but maybe like $10,000. Made like 5 kilometers from here. Crazy. made in America. And some things here made in America, so be nice. Apple, alright, designed in America. What else? Apple is a major American company. What else? If I say made in America, what do you think?
Facebook.
Alright, Facebook is an American company. What else? Amazon. Alright, so we're just throwing out all the big tech companies. So, most of your major tech companies, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, Uber, all come out of the US. What product is really made in the US?
Cars. Ford.
Some cars, Ford, Chevy. But even those are very rarely made in the US. One thing that has become part of the US is that now we make almost nothing. We design a lot of things. How many people have an iPhone or an iPad? Anyone have an iPhone or an iPad? On the back, what does it say? Does anyone remember?
Case in China.
It says assembled in China. But before that, what does it say? Designed by Apple in California. Again, the purpose of this is we're playing with the idea of perception. When people think Apple, the first thing that comes to their head is American. Okay? But Apple does not make its own things. Most of the things are made where? It says, and here's the fun part, assembled in China. The phone is put together in China. Everything is made where? Here. Probably about 70% of the parts inside an iPhone are made in Taiwan. All these individual parts are sent to China and they put it together. Most of them are made here. Hsinchu, Kaohsiung, and some in Nantou. Mostly made here. But no one goes, iPhone, Taiwanese. Mostly think Apple. Why? Because this is a perception. This is a long-term thinking. Apple is an American company. So we believe Apple's American. Only the people and the design are in America. Made in Germany. What do you think? Mercedes-Benz, BMW, German cars. What else? Gummy bears. Haribo, yes, is gummy bears. Very few people bring that up. I'm impressed. Haribo is a German company. What else?
High quality with high performance.
High quality or high performance, and usually for a high price. Okay. Japan and Germany tend to have a very similar perception by most people. It's usually very high quality. Everything is on time. But the price is a little bit higher. Okay. Alright, we'll get to the last two fun and exciting ones. When I say made in China, how do you feel? They're not here, you can say whatever you want. I say made in China, usually what's the feeling? Very quiet.
Low quality.
Huh?
Fake.
Low quality, fake, what else? Cheap. The other feeling? Again, this goes back to a perception. For years, the idea of made in China is given a feeling of very low quality. Okay? But, like Korea, China's government has started to throw millions of dollars to try and change this perception. So now, a lot of your major manufacturers, like Apple, assemble parts in China. A lot of your luxury brands, like Gucci, actually make their things in China. Why? Because for Italy, the Italian company, it's cheaper to make in China. But Italy has built its name so long. If someone hears an Italian name, Gucci, must be luxurious, expensive goods. They don't care where it's made from. Same, if you go into an Armani store and start looking through the tags, all made in China, but the price is not cheap. But it's because for the company, the perception is it's European, but I can manufacture anywhere. China is starting to get a reputation for creating global brands. Xiaomi is now the second largest phone distributor in the world after Apple. Okay. So, most people's perception of China now is not very good. But in 10 years, pay attention. If someone says made in China, will people have the same reaction? Will your children in 20 years have the same feeling about made in China as you do? Same as made in Korea might be like, yeah, it's good. And then you ask your grandparents and like, it's the terrible, never buy made in Korea. This is a generational thing. But it will take decades. Next year, people won't go, yay, made in China. Wait, it'll take about 10 years, 20 years. It will shift. Last but not least, made in Taiwan. How do you feel about made in Taiwan? Or what is made in Taiwan? I told you a few already.
No brands.
No brands. Taiwan is trying to change that, but yeah, it's very. Taiwan has not really built a global brand quite yet. What else? Bicycles. All right, probably about 60 to 70% of every bicycle part in the world is made here. Mostly in Taichung and Nanjing. All right, what else? The reason I like to talk about this is a perception thing. Taiwan, no brands. For the most part, that's true. But what does Taiwan make? The answer is everything. In fact, almost all the things you use in your daily life, some piece of it is made here. We talked about, Italian sports cars, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Maserati. The car itself is Italian. The wheels, the aluminum wheels, are made here. Super Alloy is probably the largest or the second largest aluminum manufacturer in the world. Their clients are Ford, Maserati, Lamborghini, all made here. They also make space parts for NASA. If you are not in the manufacturing industry, almost nobody knows who they are. Okay. What is the largest company in Taiwan?
TSMC.
Close, but no. Foxconn, Honghai. In the world, how big is Honghai? It's the 5th biggest company in the world. 5th. Not in Taiwan, in the world. But because Honghai is an OEM, ODM manufacturer, nobody knows. Okay. This has become most of Taiwan's issue. ASUS, Acer. In Taiwan, everyone knows ASUS, Acer. But ASUS and Acer are most famous for OEMing for Dell and HP. So, my business partner studied her master's in the US, and she took her, I think it was her ASUS computer. She was like, yes, ASUS, everyone must know ASUS. And most people look at her computer like, hey, I've never heard of that, where is it from? And she was like, because Taiwan has been manufacturing things for so long that it hasn't produced a really global brand. Talking about bicycle, Giant is probably the closest you get. But this is a perception. So now, the Taiwan government has thrown a lot of money into what they call like branding Taiwan and trying to build brands out of Taiwan. But they're having a very hard time because made in Taiwan should be a very powerful thing. For 30, 40 years, Taiwan is OEM manufacturing king, but nobody knows. So when they're like, made in Taiwan, it's great, and people are like, Thailand? No, Taiwan. This is a perception. This is a long-term thing that was created. So to change it, again, Taiwan now may have a global brand, but it's going to take time. It's going to take years to change this thing. Does Michelle usually give you a break? Yes? No? Maybe? Just sit here for 2 hours. Forever. I'll tell you what, if anyone uses the bathroom or take a break, why don't you take like 8 minutes? We'll start again at 11:20. So if you need to stand up, walk around,